Welcome back to the Best of Investing. When we cut to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question, which, by the way, I'm Edward Brown, your host, and my co-host is the famous Mark Hahn from Pacific Private Money. And here was the first trivia question. What group sang YMCA in the 1970s and dressed in various outfits, such as a construction worker and an Indian? Mark, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I know. I worked with construction workers growing up, and usually they wore shirts, but
not
these guys. The Village People.
The Village People, that is correct. The first three callers with the correct answer won a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. And we are in the studio here with Stephen Shoen, who is a real estate broker with Alon Pinnell, and Mike Samuels, who is a family law attorney, and they're going to discuss how divorce affects real estate, and we're also going to talk about estates with real estate. So guys, take it away.
Well, I'd like to start out by saying that it's really how the market affects the divorce, not the other way around, really.
That's a good idea. That's good.
Yeah, and the new economy here has radically changed the way divorce is practiced, and it's really all family law attorneys now are struggling to get caught up, and we're all going to seminars and classes and reading journals and so on and so forth about what to do about this. And I belong to a group called the Association of Certified Family Law Specialists, and every year we put on a spring seminar, a very high-powered, cutting-edge seminar, and I have the program for the April 2009 program, which was called Complex Property Characterizations and Disposition Issues, Strategies for the Uncertain Economy.
Well, that sounds exciting.
That's a mouthful.
And well, that was the overall theme of the weekend. Like, for example, one of the programs was Practical Solutions to Real Estate Problems, Characterization and Division in a Down Real Estate Market. Another one was Upside Down and Inside Out, Coping with Foreclosures and Short Sales. Now, particularly here in Marin, but certainly statewide, and probably nationally too, we didn't have that problem before. When home prices were going up, 5%, 10% a year here in Marin,
nobody got divorced, didn't have financial problems.
Right, net worth is going up.
Well, in most cases, in the case of a divorce, there was equity in the house. And that solved a lot of problems.
Yes.
How do you pay off the debt, the credit card debt? How does one person buy out the other party if they're going to keep the house? There was equity, so you could refinance with Mark, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So how do you equalize? There's usually an equalizing payment. You add up everything the wife's going to get, you add up everything the husband's going to get, and it doesn't come out equal. How do you equalize it? Well, there are many ways to do that, but one of the ways was always from the equity of the house, which we don't have anymore. So
you've got kind of this double whammy of you've got declining, you've got a horrible economy, you've got people out of work, and money problems lead to greater divorces. Exactly. And then you get a divorce, and now you've got trying to divide the assets. It's like, oops, what assets?
Well,
yeah. Actually, the liabilities, really.
Actually, some people were staying married because of the cost of divorce. So, but you always have to take a real simple example. If all you had were two cars, and one was a paid-off brand new Mercedes, and the other one was a Yugo, the person getting the Mercedes is going to owe the other party some money.
Wait a minute, hold on. I don't know about that. Okay, I'll agree. Right.
So there are other ways to do it. You take the house and I'll take the Schwab account, and trade off like that. But still, many cases there was money, equity in the house. It's not there anymore, and what do you do about it? Well, it's still, for the legal profession, fairly new. Okay?
Yeah, because you usually haven't had that before. And then I would think that some of these divorces are starting to get pretty contentious.
Well, we're going to all these classes and seminars and so forth, but when it actually happens, what do we do, and what a judge is going to do? And it takes, let's say, a year or two for some cases to get to trial, and then what we depend upon, if there's no legislation, is appellate decisions, and that's another year or two before the appellate decision comes down.
They're very expensive.
Yes, they are. So there's not a lot of law. For example, It's an underwater house. Someone wants to keep it. It's $100,000 underwater. The person who wants to keep it says, hey, other spouse, pay me $50,000 because that's a debt, just like any other debt.
You know, that's kind of interesting because depending upon what the interest payment is, you know, most houses are non-recourse financing, so in theory, they might be able to walk away at some point, and so there may not actually ever be that liability.
Well, that's true, and that's what our judge is doing about that, and we don't know exactly.
As you said, no case law, because this is a new economy.
Right, and different judges and different counties could come up with different answers. Probably most judges are going to say, no, I'm not going to assign that debt to the other party. You want the house, you can keep it as is. But nevertheless, it is a problem and it's a learning experience for all of us.
So let me ask you, do they ever think prospectively from the standpoint of, well, maybe it's underwater now, but come on, real estate's not going to go down that much further, and let's look to the future?
Well, yeah, that's why some people want to keep the house regardless, if they can make the mortgage payments. Now, we're leaving the whole thing out about all of the problems with the economy other than the housing market and people being out of jobs and what effect that has on divorces, and I can't pay my spousal support and child support anymore. You know, that's a whole other area and a whole other issue.
Well, can I break in here? This is Stephen, and yeah, right in the old days, she was always a great housekeeper, and Mike, every time she got divorced, she kept the house. It's a little bit different now, because you're right, refinancing is out the door. You're not doing it anymore. So and joking aside, you know, it is a tough decision. Usually there's 3 options that we can consider, which I'll talk about in just a second.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what we're talking about here is what to do. We'll talk about a minute in potential outcomes, but we're all puzzled by it. This same group, the Association of Certified Family Law Specialists, puts out a quarterly newsletter, and this is clear from the fall of 2010, so it's a year ago. There's a real estate attorney and broker in Sonoma who wrote an article. His name is William Matz, and he lists 10 different things, 10 different solutions. You know, sell the house, refinance it, senior options like reverse mortgages, loan modifications. This is all Steve's area, but I'm just listing the what this person. Short finances, bankruptcy, deed in lieu of foreclosure, foreclosure itself, litigation, short sales, which Steve and I have talked about a little bit. Well, right. So, you know, so what do you do, and how do you work it out with hopefully without spending more money, which you don't have in the first place, going to court and fighting about all this? Of course, one way, I also mediate family law cases, and if you can sit down around the table.
Because maybe you get, like you said, more people, maybe you're not getting divorced because of all the...
Right.
Well, true, and this is Stephen again, it does get complicated because there's so many distressed homes right now. For example, in San Rafael, where we're at right now, there's 168 distressed properties.
And give the definition of a distressed property.
A distressed property is someone who is not making payments, who's underwater. It's either a short sale or it's a foreclosure. They're pre-foreclosure, they're in trouble. And they're trying to figure a solution out. The solution of refinance, as we just said, is out the door. And it gets complicated when it is a divorce, because Mike and I just did a case where it was a short sale, and we'll chat about that.
Yeah, after we go to the commercial break, we come back, I want to hear about a specific story that we can share with the listeners on that.
So the point is, we're all sort of floundering just like the clients as to come up with a solution to these problems. Now, one of them, whether you're litigating or mediating, is to call someone like Steve and get his suggestions. Maybe call someone like Mark and get his suggestions of, is there money? Where can money come from? What can we do? And come up with a solution. A lot of these things, I think, are multidisciplinary problems that besides the psychologists that we call in to deal with those problems.
Did you ever actually bring in a psychologist?
Oh, absolutely. And it's very common, particularly when children are involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called realtors.
Yeah.
My mom always wanted me to be a psychologist, and she got me. She wished for it.
Well, you're really good. You know, I've seen on your website and the emails that you give Stephen, and you do seem like a psychologist.
Well, you got to care a lot.
A little. Yeah, you were about to say care a little. I know.
Well,
no, you care a lot.
You know, you have to take the emotion out of it. That's where I come in. But also, you have to be a neutral third party and
Yeah.
what's the best interest of your client. So.
Right, you're trying to be a solutions provider too. That's the thing.
Right, and these people not only have trouble with their finances and their house, but they're getting divorced, and that's a whole other psychological suitcase, more baggage that interferes or enters into the whole situation here. So it's not just that their house is underwater and what effect does that have, but everything else in the bad economy.
How they gonna split it? And Mike will tell you, anybody who claims that marriage is a 50-50 proposition doesn't know a thing about women or fractions.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to a commercial break. We are in the studio with Stephen Shoen, a real estate broker with Lon Pinnell, and Mike Samuels, who is a family law attorney, and they're showing us about divorce and real estate. And when we come back, we're also going to talk about a specific short sale story, and then give some advice to our listeners who may be, having some marital problems with real estate in here. All right, here we're going to come to our second commercial break, and here is the second trivia question. In 1977, she sang "You Light Up My Life" and was the daughter of a famous straight-laced singer and actor. Who was she? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website, check them out, is lighthouse4fun.com. Again, our brand new number to call in is 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. In 1977, she sang "You Light Up My Life" and was the daughter of a famous straight-laced singer and actor. Who was she? Of course, if I sang it, it would be a little easier for people to figure out. 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, address, phone number, and email address, and we will be right back.